Welcome to 2026. Wow, that's kind of crazy, right? Now, there are plenty of videos out there, I am sure, about how to level up in 2026, right? How to set goals, how to manifest, how to rewire your brain, how to change your mindset, just all these things, right? On how to level up. And those videos are great. Okay, check them out. But what this video is going to do is something that a lot of people tend to skip over, and that's going to be how do we reflect on 2025 first? We're so quick to just hop into the next thing. We're always moving forward. But when do you ever just sit back and say, okay, what have I been through? What have I truly gone through? So this video, I'm gonna show you how to do that. So let's get right into it. Number one, let's actually look at the goals you set for 2025. And I know, there's a possibility that a lot of those goals you didn't meet. There's also a possibility that a lot of those goals you did meet, okay? But we're going to look at them anyway because we need to acknowledge the feelings. If you're looking at the list and you're like, oh, I didn't do that, I didn't do that, I didn't do that, and you feel shame, regret, or guilt, acknowledge that. Honor that you feel that way. If you're looking at that list and you're like, dang, did that, okay, boom, bap, like, acknowledge that too. You're feeling proud, you're feeling accomplishment, you're feeling a sense of worthiness, a sense of importance, honor and acknowledge those feelings too. And then once you get your list, you review the list, you're identifying the emotions you're feeling as you're reading it. Get clear on which feelings you don't want to feel and which ones you'd like to feel again when it comes to 2026. Okay, so that's your first step. Let's just look at the list. Pull it up, look at it. Now that we have our list, let's look at the stuff that we did accomplish and let's figure out how you accomplished it. Did you hire a mentor, a coach, a tutor, somebody that guided you through that? Did all the craziness in life calm down? You were able to really focus on what mattered? Did you leave the toxic relationship? Did you put up boundaries when it came to your family? Did you prioritize those goals and learn to prioritize yourself? Did you truly believe that you could do it? When you look at that list and the stuff that you accomplished, kind of remember how you felt when you were writing that down. When you wrote it, did you truly believe, you know what, I can do that? And then you did do it, right? So really figure out what worked. And that's going to be important because the stuff that works, if it's not fixed, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? So if those patterns and those systems and those things got you the results, we want to keep doing those things. But if you never reflect and figure out how these things worked, you don't know what you need to repeat. You think it'll be second nature, well, duh, I'll just do what I did last time. But if you don't remember what you did last time? So that's why we need to get clear on it. On the other hand, the things that didn't come to fruition, why didn't they? Did you not prioritize it? Did you not believe that you could do it? Was there a lot of chaos happening in your life? Was too much change happening? Car and water heater and everything just keep breaking. You had to keep putting money into it, and that's why you couldn't meet your financial goal because you had to divert your money to something different. Was there always a family crisis happening and you had to continue to direct your energy to be the mediator and to fix all these things? Did you just forget about it? Did you write it down one time and just never looked at it again and forgot that you even wanted to do that thing? But again, we need to get clear on this. Why didn't those things work? Because at one point in your life you wanted them. So what happened? Why didn't you get them? And did you simply just not want that anymore? That's valid. Maybe at the beginning of the year, that's what you wanted. And about 4 or 5 months in, you're just like, I don't want that anymore. And that's fine too. But again, we want to identify that. So understand what worked for the things that you succeeded in and what didn't work for the things that you failed in. And I'm putting, in case you're not looking at me, I'm putting failed in quotation marks because I don't truly believe in failures. Number 3, now that you have this list of what worked, what didn't work, what you succeeded in, what you didn't succeed in, let's talk about what was in your control and what wasn't. So make another list of those 2 things. And then when you finish this list, just throw out the list that wasn't in your control because there's nothing you can do about that. If it wasn't in your control, what can you do, right? You want to focus on the things that were in your control. But I'm about to humble you for a moment because before you throw out that list of what wasn't in your control, let's think about what really wasn't in your control, right? Okay, so let's take my example earlier of things breaking in your home. You can't control that. You can't control that the water heater broke. You can't control that the engine went down. You had to get that, this new car or this new engine or whatever. Like those things, yes, by all means, you cannot control. But could you have control of having an emergency fund set aside so when stuff breaks, you don't have to pull money from things that you want to do with your life, like travel more or invest in these things or the ways that you wanted to spend your money? Had you had an emergency fund, could you have just pulled money from that instead of pulling money from your future self, pretty much? So that is in your control. So let's think about that. If things went by the wayside because of family chaos, family drama, could you have set boundaries? Could you have said, listen, I understand this thing is happening, but I have to prioritize myself. So once I finish this, then I will come help you. So could you have set boundaries? Was that in your control? Sure, you gave, your proposal and you did all these interviews to these jobs. You put yourself out there and people will continue to tell you no. Yeah, that's not in your control, but could you have worked on your proposal? Could you have worked on your interviewing skills so that you were better equipped for the next one? So before we throw out the list that wasn't in your control, let's figure out what really wasn't in your control. Let's get real with ourselves. We're digging deep here. So once you've condensed your not in my control list to a I could have done better list, we're going to combine that with the things that actually were in your control. And now we're going to focus on that list. Okay? Hope that made sense. The combination of those two lists. We got a lot of lists going on here, so I hope you had a pen and paper ready. But basically, the whole purpose of that is to figure out how we can improve on the things that are within our control, because the only thing that we can really control in life is ourselves. So why not start there? Next thing we want to do is review how you spent your time. Okay, how many hours did you spend scrolling through social media? How many hours of YouTube did you watch? How many hours were you actually productive and not just busy? Because yeah, you sat down for an hour, opened up the computer with the intention to study for 60 minutes, but how many of those 60 minutes were you actually studying, not studying for 5 minutes, scrolling for 5 minutes, studying, you know what I mean? Like, let's get real on that. How many hours did you spend studying that language that you said you wanted to learn? How many hours did you spend building that skill you said you wanted to learn? So let's get clear on how you spent your time. The cool thing about that is seeing how you spend your time will show you what you value. Okay, because maybe you say, I value spending time with my family, but then when you look back on it, you spend no time with your family. So either you don't value it as much as you think you do, or you're living outside of your values. And either way, we got to change something. So now that I've given you all these tools, all these things to think about and reflect on, I want you to have a session with yourself, okay? If you are a writer, get you a pen and paper. If you're someone that likes to vocalize your thoughts, hit record on your phone, hit record on a camera, hit record on something, just like vent out loud, okay? If you want to have this discussion with somebody else, call up somebody and say, hey, listen, I need to just talk out and work out all this stuff I went through in 2025, but get it out, get clear and precise on how 2025 truly was for you before you start thinking about 2026. And truly, that's really it. Now that you've got it all out of your system, you can move on. Stop dragging that stuff with you. I know that this could be hard to believe, acknowledge, or even recognize, but we call this unresolved conflict, okay? And that could be unresolved self-conflict. There's things that you've unresolved with yourself year after year after year. Let's say you put the same goal on your goal list every single year. So you've been carrying this disappointment with yourself for 6-7 years. You never resolved it. And so you're going to just carry that into the next year. You're carrying the same systems, okay? So again, the same goal that you keep failing, you're probably failing it the same way. So you're never reflecting on it and seeing what is going wrong, what about this is not working for me, and then trying to fix it so that you can actually achieve it the next time. There's no reflection. And also getting clear on why do you want this? And who do you want this for? Is this something that you truly want for yourself, or is it something that your parents put on you, a spouse, a partner, a friend, or somebody else